Look, there's no easy solution to this. And unfortunately, both sides of the political aisle have not said this to people. There's no easy solution to this.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to VIP Financial Education, where we help you go further, faster financially. I'm your host today, Michael Matthew. Great to be here, and great to be here with one of our favorite channel guests. We're always just blessed to have MC on the channel. So welcome aboard.
Great to be here, but looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, likewise. So I kind of want to dive into the economy here and what you're really forecasting. We're going to have a new administration, obviously, in the White House. And, if you're just looking at, microeconomics for 2025, what are you seeing or what are you anticipating?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So the new administration that's coming in, the Trump administration this is the second term, and it's not back to back. So I think there was a lot of lessons that they would have learned to do things a lot differently the next time around. And it's already kind of looking that way, bringing in Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy in this DOGE department, right? The Department of Government Efficiency, which I think is very, very interesting. Now, President Donald Trump, if you just look at his career in just real estate, and I would say his media presence and social media presence, he's a disruptor. He's always been a disruptor. And the same can be said of Elon Musk. He's a disruptor. He disrupts industries that he's in. Vivek Ramaswamy, kind of in a similar mold, a disruptor. So you have folks that are disruptors that are now going to play a massive role in this administration. So it almost like your next logical conclusion is like there's going to be disruptions. It looks like it's set up for disruption. So initially, from a big macroeconomic standpoint, when you bring in disruption into an industry, into a market, into an economy, there's gonna be some shocks initially. Now it depends on the scale of the disruption. If you go about things the same way that Javier Milei, for example, in Argentina did, you're going to see massive disruptions. He significantly cut the size of government, cut the size of regulations. And right now, he just delivered a speech this past week in Argentina that they have a balanced budget, I think for the first time in as long as people can remember. So what's going to happen in the U.S.? I think there's going to be disruption. I think that government's going to get smaller. I think there's going to be some significantly restructuring done in the government, which is going to affect all parts of the economy. If you think about how heavy the U.S. economy has really been on government, the size of government, government employees, the spending of government, it's a massive, massive participant in this economy. So if you disrupt that, there's going to be fallout initially. There's no easy fix to the problems that we have. So you're going to have some short-term pain. And if they do that, you will have, I would say, some deflationary impact even perhaps in the economy, right? So if, let's just say there is a massive amount of layoffs in government employment, in government positions, those people spend money too, right? They have mortgages to service and, things that they buy, food and so forth. So initially, I think there might even be a deflationary shock if that happens in the economy. Regulations that get cut, tax cuts, which is on the table too, if corporate tax cuts factors in and what this new administration brings in, that's also going to provide a lot of incentives for entrepreneurs and business owners and a lot of relief, by the way, for entrepreneurs and business owners. So yeah, I think like from a big picture, I think we're going to see disruption. That's going to lead to a slightly chaotic environment initially with some deflationary shocks. But then as things simmer and stabilize with this ton of regulations that are going to get cut and tax cuts is going to contribute to, some economic growth and is going to spur some innovation. The last time psychologically, remember what it was in 2016? Psychologically, a lot of people started doing deals and business because of all the tax cuts. I think that it's going to have a positive psychological effect in the economy. I already see people doing a ton of deals. I mean, everybody was sitting on the fence and on the sidelines, a lot of people. And I've started to see a lot of people in my world, do some deals. So that's very, very interesting. There might be some growth for businesses. So you might see some new hires eventually, some opportunities there. From the inflation standpoint, well, this is the big thing, right? How do you stop the massive inflation that's there? I think that's more of a longer process. And also, the first Trump administration did spend a lot of money too. So if they spend in the same manner than they did the last time, then yeah, that's not going to be good for inflation. So it's going to be interesting to see how they tackle that.
A couple other things that you mentioned there. So inflation, that's on the forefront of every single person's mind. What do you think this administration may or may not do versus the previous administration? And we never get political here on this channel, but from one ideology to the other, as far as the administration goes, there are massive, massive differences. You touched on another thing as far as regulations goes. I know as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, when things are deregulated, it's going to stimulate growth. It's going to, make me want to, spend more money as a capitalist, obviously, to grow my business. And that's going to create jobs and all of those things where the rising tide lifts all boats. Are you going to see, in your opinion, more of that as we go into this next year than we've seen in the previous, 4?
Yeah. So if you look at inflation and the core root of it, you've increased the money supply, the monetary supply in the country, and then the government basically spending is a big contributor to inflation. But expansion of the monetary supply, more currency units going around, that's now in the economy. So the cost of everything starts to go up, right? It's a supply and a demand issue. So you're going to have more responsible monetary policy, and you're going to have less government spending. And I think that's where DOGE is going to play a role. And again, this is what, if I'm looking at what we are presented with so far, you don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of interesting. I mean, when have we ever seen something like this except recently in Argentina, a Department of Government Efficiency where you have these billionaires going in that have run successful businesses that are looking to, quote unquote, clean up the
balance sheet, basically. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and just clean up all the basically the mess that is the government. It's so big. You would have to look at the Soviet Union to find another government this size, in recent memory. So they're going to go in and clean it up. So I think that by itself is going to have a deflationary impact if they go about the business very, very aggressively. So from an inflation standpoint, look, there's no easy solution to this. And unfortunately, both sides of the political aisle have not said this to people. There's no easy solution to this. In fact, the only solution is it's very, very tough. And again, it's going to be very, very, very disciplined monetary policy. And then it's also going to be a reduction in government and government spending. And when you have a size of a population of the United States that's dependent on a government spending, there's definitely going to be some pain ahead short term before things get better long term.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. There is no quick fix to where we're at this point. We are where we are. It's just kind of, taking the medicine and, hopefully getting better sooner than later. But yeah, I'm certainly anticipating that short-term pain as well. You cannot have the disruptions that I think we're all expecting to be coming here soon without some of those, maybe call them growing pains, because I think it is going to be growth that is going to get us, out of the hole that we're in here right now. So, things like that massive government spending, I'm not anticipating, this new administration just completely stop spending. But even if you're spending at the same rate, but you're cutting the massive overspending from those additional government employees and government infrastructure, it's going to be a net savings right now. And as long as I think people aren't seeing that national debt continue to just completely spiral out of control, it will continue to go up. But I think that might be giving some people, some more peace of mind.